wasn't easy for the Wolves and Coach Harold Clark. After a come-from-behind win over Theodore 15-14, the Wolves lost a controversial second game to the Robert E. Lee Generals 20-17. And Coach Clark was hot and protesting the game all the way to the top.
I've been here, and I told him the situation. I felt like we was all the touchdowns, all the points they scored, really is aid of some official helped them. And all we was down on certain areas of the football field, and we got all the penalties that hindered us.
The protest did nothing but make the Wolves mad. So they took it out on Blunt, McGill, and another Montgomery team, Jeff Davis. Mitchell Davis scooped up this fumble pitch out and tied the score 7-7. But then, a little later, Vigor was trailing. And who but Electron Williams ripped 29 for a touchdown to win it 15-10 in a comeback. It was a big one from him, 193 yards on the night, and the Wolves were rolling. LaFleur was next, and Danny Woodson put the Rattlers up 13-0 with two incredible runs on a stunned Vigor defense. But back came Vigor. Electron cut it to 13-7, and then Ryan Blakely snatched a Kelvin Simmons tip pass to score, and the Wolves came from behind again to win it 14-13, and people around the state were taking notice.
This showdown of two of Mobile's best teams goes to the Vigor Wolves, who are now 5-1. The Wolves now beginning to gain some statewide respect of their own, as evidenced by their number 8 ranking. Dan Faber, News Center 5.
After LaFleur, Harrison Central, Murphy, and then Satsuma all fell. And then it was time for playoff time in Pritchard. Round 1 opponent, Mary Montgomery, was nothing more than a warm-up, 35-zip, as Kelvin Simmons wore out their secondary with touchdown throws to Kevin Lee and Bruce McGee. Party time in Pritchard.
You know, every game you play is going a little bit tougher. Everybody got a little bit tougher.
They call an easy win like this one for Vigor a laugher, and it was certainly smiles all around for the Wolves here tonight as they continue in the state playoffs. Dan Faber, News Center 5.
Round 2 brought Central of Phoenix City to town, and Ryan Blakely started the party again with an electric 73-yard kickoff return, and the Wolves never looked back. As the crowd went crazy, Central apparently forgot to look up also, because Simmons and McGee went over the top for a 62-yarder. Electron proved he could catch also, a 55-yard touchdown with a Simmons tip pass. Vigor's stingy defense didn't like giving up a late touchdown, as Bradley Craig shows, but it didn't matter, as Vigor won 28-16.
Vigor's second playoff victory of 1987 turns out to be surprisingly easy, which seems to indicate the Wolves are ready for another shot at Robert E. Lee, the only team that's beaten Vigor this season.
Then it was back to Montgomery, and all Mobile listened and watched as the Wolves got a second chance at the Robert E. Lee Generals, a team whose earlier defeat of them had cost them high national ratings.
The big key in this game is going to be our defense keeping them from making the big play. If we can do that, I have all the confidence in the world in our offense. I think our offense is going to be able to keep the football. If they don't turn it over, if we don't turn it over and we don't give up the big play, we'll win. If we do, then Vigor's going to win and we'll be home eating turkey.
But Vigor fell behind 7-0 as the defense was split by a long Lee run. But then, Electron got a pitch from Kelvin Simmons, got a block from Edward Smith, and this is what he did. The Wolves were back for some revenge. And the team, which had stolen one earlier from Vigor, became the Turkeys as they went down 28-14. Unbelievably, the playoff system forced Vigor to go back to Montgomery again to play a team they had already beaten, Jeff Davis. It was a dangerous trap for the Wolves. But on the game's first play, Electron made it happen again. Listen to Lee Shervanian of WKRG Radio.
Out of the eye behind Kelvin Simmons, first and 10 at the 20. Vigor's ball. And now the handoff inside. Electron Williams, 25, 30. He's on the way! 40, 40. He's gone. 80 yards on the opening drive. The flags are down. At least I don't see any. And listen to that. Vigor flag.
So 24 daylight worked like a charm for Vigor. And even kicker Hasno Bashanabun turned tough guy with a block for Ryan Blakely as he ran it in for a two-pointer on a missed snap. Willie Lambert's interception helped the Wolves get up 15-0, and then it was 22-0 as Electron went 45. But then the Wolves relaxed, and the trap began to snare them. Jeff Davis roared back to cut it 22-12 and was about to score again when Edward Smith and Norvie Chambers caused a goal line fumble, which Bradley Scooby-Doo Craig scooped up. And that was it. Harold Clark's crowd was headed for Legion Field and the state championship versus hometown Shades Valley. You started this game like an electron. You know that with that 80-yard burst?
Yes, sir. It was just a new 24 daylight play we put in this week. And offensive line had great blocking up front, and I just picked the hole and went the distance.
Do you know what a trap was laid for you up here? You'd already beaten this team. You had to come to Montgomery to play them. A trap was just ready for you guys up there. You evaded the trap.
Yes, sir, we evaded that. We figured they was going to be communicating with Riley Lee on, the game situation. But we didn't worry about that. We just came up here and played Viking style of football.
All right, and it was even Kelvin Simmons' TV debut.
What is on TV?
Yeah, it's on television.
Oh, man, hold on. Do it over. I ain't know that. Do it over for me.
Let's give Kelvin a chance to rehearse. We'll catch him after the Shades Valley game. Then, next, it was on to Legion Field, the football capital of the South. The 6A state championship was on the line. Could the Wolves handle the pressure? What do you think? It was Coach Eddie's 28 free picker from Kelvin Simmons to Kevin Lee, and Vigor was up 6-0 before Shades Valley knew what hit him. But then, tragedy. The young man who had done so much to get Vigor to Legion Field went down on the kickoff with a knee injury, and it looked bad for the visitors from Pritchard. Electron Williams, their best football player, out for the rest of the game. And Shades Valley quickly took advantage of that break, going up 10-6 at half. Could the Wolves come back after losing their best player? The fans wondered as the Vigor football team came on the field for the important second half. Darrell Hunt and the defense weren't wondering, though. They stopped Shades Valley on their first possession in the second half, and then Terry Westmoreland and the offensive line knocked open a hole for Paul Caldwell, who had moved from fullback to tailback, and Vigor had the lead back 13-10. Coach P. Ryan's defense knew it was time to rise up, and they did. Check out Tony Patterson's sack. Ouch! Then the one that clinched it, Paul Caldwell, 61 yards, and Randy Patrick and Scott Hunter couldn't believe it.
8:16 to go in the football game. 12-10, Vigor leading Shades Valley. They have the football, the Wolves do. First and 10, and here's the handoff to Paul Caldwell. Gets a hold of 5-50, 25-40, 30, 25-20, a foot race to the end zone, 5.